the South Bureau Chief of Tehelka. His brave attempts to expose corruption and drug rackets has won him several prestigious awards, including Statesman's Award for Rural Reporting and State Award for Best Reporting. His article on social alienation of people with HIV/AIDS won the prestigious People's Union for Civil Liberties Award for Human Rights Reporting. I invite you, sir, to share a few words with us.
Friends, I'm not a celebrated rebel, neither creative also. I became a journalist when I had no other options to survive. Because I'm from Angamali. As you know, I don't know whether anybody is from Angamali. Angamali people has only 3 options in their life. One is to become a priest. Other, to become a rice merchant. And third option, a school teacher. I became a journalist when I knew that I will fail in all these 3 professions. Friends, believe me, a rebel is not a devil's creation. I believe that God has created rebel on the 7th day when he was in a leisurely mood. And he found that all his creations may fail, and he wanted to create something which will not fail and survive in God's own country as well as in the good end. So I am here. When your friends came and met me and talking about the creative rebel, I was overjoyed with the shape and the theme and the brand. Because it took me long 30 years back when I was in the camps. I was a hardcore politician in the campus. So in those days, we organized a meeting of rebels in Union Christian College. An overnight discussion where we could take this country on. And after 30 years, I feel sorry to confess that the experiment has failed. But your efforts, I hope, will succeed, and I wish you all the success. We often come to this term in most of the sectors: art, advertisement, fashion, poetry, literature, everywhere. But a real creative rebel is needed in life, to change life, to direct people for change and bring changes. We have green politicians in politics, but we never had a creative rebel politician. We will never have, because once they become creative rebel, they leave politics. Because they don't have the sustainability to sustain the system political corruption. I want you to think on these lines from my experience. Before you, many people had failed. But there is a chance you will reach success. So that is the only chance to save this country, save these people, save yourself. If you want to go along the same path which others have taken, there will not be any change. When 2 of your friends came to pick me up, I asked them, they are on the final semesters, what they are going to do. One has been recruited for one multinational company, and the other one was recruited for a technopark company. Then I asked them, why don't you do something of your own? One friend told me she doesn't like to take the risk. Other person told me that I would like to work. Good answers, good answers. But I remind you, take the risk. I have always taken the risk of losing my job when I do an investigation every time. Friends, I started my job in Hitwat, Nagpur, a small, medium-sized newspaper, 100-year-old newspaper started by Annie Besant. It was not a job really I was craved for. In fact, I never had the money to pay my fees, and I happened to participate in a debating competition in which the editor was a moderator. He told me that I am giving you a great chance to become a great writer. That time my botheration was only in my bargaining power. He offered me 300 rupees, 350 rupees, I demanded 800 rupees because I required 800 rupees. So, after that I got an opportunity to report Bhopal gas tragedy, Mrs. Gandhi's assassination. Later, this Perimbattur tragedy also. And tragedies one after another. Still, I love to report and I just travel from places to places, hunt for stories. I love it because I encounter facts, figures, people, everything. Don't you think that it is better than becoming a celebrated editor and sitting at the AC newsroom, taking all the bloody calls of the politicians and the bureaucrats and other people? I enjoy my job. I opted for it. So, this is the way you should take decisions. Take hard decisions. When you have hard decisions, you have hard choices and you have an aim and ambition. Ambition not to make money, not to become a celebrity, but ambition to encounter truth at every level. If you have that guts, you will never fail. So from where you get this strength to encounter truth? It is from your teams you start doing it. I tell you, my friend, I was assigned to do a story in Idiki. It was about the brown sugar addicts and the carriers of brown sugar network in Kerala. I stayed with a brothel where 7 prostitutes were living. At that time, I was madly in love with a girl. I told her that I am going to stay in a prostitute house in Kumali. She told me that there is no chance, I will be your girl. But I was crazy maybe. I told her that, get out, get lost. I stayed with them, I photographed them, I wrote about them. That story won the national award, but I lost that girl. Maybe in those days, it may be hard to lose a girl you love. But I took a chance. I took a chance that if I had, she might have been with me today even, I don't know. If another story might have taken her away later. But I took a chance to put a great story in print. So, like that, if you take risk at your every level, there is a chance you will succeed. So take that chance. And there are intelligent people who can keep a story and keep the girl well. I am not like that. Friends, again, stories after stories when you hunt, you come across two kinds of people. One are basically telling you lies. One group telling you all facts. One group mix you with the facts and lies. These three groups, your life is like this, where you identify the crooks, the real one, and the grey one. There also, sometimes it is a blind bet. I was doing a story on Raja's, Andimuttu Raja, you maybe all know, yeah? You know, Raja business empire. One person offered me documents telling that his empire, business empire is worth around 35,000 crores. Other person told me that his binamis are 1 to 10. Another person told me that a journalist is a binami. So, I worked on 2 nights, gone through the documents. There is none to clarify or cross-check. In investigation, you may reach some dead ends, where you can't cross-check only with the person who is involved in the story. If I had cross-checked those facts with the Raja, it was impossible also. He was in jail. Then finally, I took a blind bet, pointing out that a journalist and his wife was involved in the corruption. He sued me. I just got away with an apology. Because you know why? Because DMK was ruling Tamil Nadu. If I ever land up in Tamil Nadu to argue my case, I would be dead. So your pride, your ego doesn't come to these points. Use your brains to tackle issues. When the whole world corner you, your only dream, your only idea how to get away with it. Otherwise, you may not be stand here to narrate your story even after 30 years. To survive in this world is most important, and your life is very precious. Friends, again about media ethics. There is no 2 kinds of ethics. I may not be the right person to judge or tell about you about media ethics. It is Shashikumar sir. Because he is teaching hundreds of students how to follow good path of journalism. I am following only a singular path, which I do. But in my opinion, there are no 2 kinds of media ethics. It is a personal ethics. You don't cheat your friend. You don't lie to your father. The same ethics follows in this media also. Don't you think so? Now, media people won't talk about media ethics. They always talk about the media privileges. Because ethics puts you on blame. Ethics put you on always on blame. Because you can see all the violations in the media before you read a newspaper. One example. 2 days ago, one girl was sexually molested by her teacher in a primary school in Kannur. I hope that everybody has read that news. Has anyone? Do you know about it? Has anyone who has not read that news? You have not? Oh, normally Malayalis, Malus, they don't miss these kinds of stories. Because most of the newspapers bang on their circulation only for these stories. And channels also. And that school's name was in it. First violation. And a DIG, who used to be a IG, but his promotion has been put in seal. When he went for an investigation, all channels had taken his route to that girl's house. What ethics, my dear friends? Friends, around 18 years back, in Kerala, there was a film, Ende Suryaputri or something. 5 girls in an Ernakulam college, they left and went to somewhere, in Goa I think, and they were taken in custody by some rackets. Our celebrated journalists, most celebrated journalist editors published all their names. I know 2 of their parents committed suicide. We have not paid even a single paisa to those families. And our newspapers were able to get away with some apology. Who care about it? Again, one celebrated journalist in Kerala wrote a story about the unwed mothers of Wayanad. Along with that story, that magazine, the celebrated magazine, a national magazine had published a photograph of 3 women. You know what is the story? Telling that these women were unwed mothers, but in reality, they had come to Pulpalli to meet their doctor. They were sitting on a tea shop, and some photographer had taken some pictures of some Adivasi women, put it there. And he was sued. But they influenced the judge and got away with it. In this time, what I can tell you about media ethics, I can only feel sorry and also offer my unconditional apology. You might not have heard of Chalapati Rao. I don't know any people who are studying journalism out here. The great Chalapati Rao died unceremoniously. Shashumar sir may tell you about that story. The Titan of Indian journalism, who kept all media ethics, who wrote brilliant editorials, who was tagged as unknown in a mortuary, kept there for 3 days. He was a rebel. He was a creative rebel. So friends, I warn you, if you opt for this particular path, you need passion. You need creative bent. You need philosophy. And you should have a Bible. Bible, I didn't mean the real Bible. The Bible of yourself, which clarifies the do's and don'ts. If you have that guts, carry on. Good luck.